The Boys comics, they're not good. They're really not. I've read the entire thing. They've had some enjoyable moments. It gave us the show, but the comics themselves are not good. And in response to the shows, I wanted to talk about the what I consider some of the worst scenes or some of the most dark scenes, whatever you want to call them. They're way too dark for the show. So I want to talk about them. So let's get started. To kick off the list, you'll see a picture of TV show Terror right about here. A cute pup, good boy. The comics, this is Terror, and in the first issue, how do I say this? So after what happens to Huey happens, he's a little depressed. Obviously, his girlfriend got turned into ground beef. Um, Butcher finds him. Terror's right there drooling, and he's depressed again. So he's like, "Hey," Butcher's like, "Hey, Huey," or "Hey, little boy, want to see something funny?" It's a little yapper, a little barking dog right next to him. He looks at Terror and he says two words: "Fuck it." And the next panel is Terror going to town on that little dog's. It's a boy. Goes to town on the little dog. They do it. And then two panels later, you see that poor little thing crawling away. And that's not the only thing Terror goes to town on. Um, maybe I don't think it's a spoiler for the show. Spoiler for the comic later on. But if you're not up to date, but he does it to a congressman also. He tries to harass some. The congressman tries to harass somebody. I forget who it is, but he gets the shit kicked out of him and he gets tied up. And Billy finds him and he's like, "Oh, don't worry, he's safe. He had something in his cavity." But Joe takes it out, and then he says, "Oh no, your secret's safe with me." And he tells Terror, um, those two words, and they don't show it in detail, but you know what's happening. So yeah, Terror is he's a terror. And so next we'll talk about Teenage Kicks. There's two things we talk about Teenage Kicks. First one I'll talk about is their group fun time. The boys are looking across the street at something and at a building, doing some reconnaissance. And they see the Teenage Kicks, which I think they're young adults at this point. I don't know why they're still called Teenage Kids. I think it's because they're supposed to be a parody of Teen Titans. Um, but they're having group fun time with a bunch of night workers, women of the night. And these poor women, they are getting brutally used in a lot of very violent ways to the point where they're bleeding and they're having to take different drugs. I think it's like cocaine, but don't say that. Different drugs to keep up with them. And this is the only place in town that will allow Teenage Kicks to go because they go so aggressively that the women don't usually make it. They don't usually survive, and they're doing it in pairs. They're doing it alone. They're on the receiving end. They're doing it all. It's basically Herogasm, the 1.0 for the comics. This is before that happens in the comics. And yeah, it's a pretty tough watch or tough read, and it's very hard to watch or read. Damn, hard to read. Next, we're going to be talking about Blarney Cock. He's part of Teenage Kicks, and after they do the reconnaissance, I think it's like a couple issues later, they meet up in the streets to fight the boys versus Teenage Kicks. And Huey is on V at this point to be able to keep up with the heroes. He doesn't know his strength yet, so he fights Blarney Cock. They go at it, and all of a sudden he punches through him, Viltrumite style, without again doesn't know his strength. This is Huey's first kill in the comics, and it seems like it's a big awakening moment for Huey. You know, it's like, what's he gonna do? And then all of a sudden they pan down to Blarney Cock on the ground, and a hamster comes out of an orifice, a lower orifice cavity. Yeah, I believe Huey keeps the hamster. I believe he takes care of it after and gives it a good life. It's really fat in the comics, I believe. But yeah, that's the boys comics for you. Not that the show doesn't do stuff like that crazy. I mean, season I believe it was season 2 or 3 with the shrinking man. That's probably worse than the hamster, but still that poor animal. It's yeah, it's rough. This is a short one, but I think it does show just how crazy and unhinged that Homelander can get. It's about the Mueller family. Long story short, they won a contest where they would get to have dinner with Homelander, but they didn't get dinner. He took them in their car, started to fly them, but he just kept flying them higher and higher until they were freezing cold in the atmosphere. And they were scared. They were terrified. They had 1 or 2 kids with them, and he just was monologuing to them. And then at the end, he just threw them to the ground. And while it did have to do with some plans that he had, he wanted to distract the other people, the 7, so that he can continue his plans and get a little break from them, so that he can do his plans. It's still an incredibly dark and uh, unhinged scene from him, just tossing that family from the sky into their car with their car. And yeah, that's really it. It's a short scene, but it hits hard. Next, we have a scene that's actually in the show. It's probably one of the worst scenes in the show, but it's Starlight's initiation scene. I'll keep this one short, but it goes pretty much like the show, except that it was Homelander that made her do it, and she had to do it to about 4 of the guys from the 7. And yeah, it was I may have read this a little too young, because that really did affect me as a kid. It's a really depressing, depraved, and horrible thing. I believe it was A Train, Black Noir, Homelander, and it was either one other guy or nobody else. But yeah, it wasn't just the Deep like it was in the show. It was all 3 or 4 of them. I have 2 more choices, but before we get to those, if you are enjoying this video or you want to see more content like this, more comic book content, maybe even mixing some horror books in there, this is really just a whatever kind of nerd thing kind of page. So if you're enjoying it, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Want me to continue these with dark shit from the comics? Let me know. But let's get on to the next one. This is more so weird than disturbing or anything, but I feel like I had to include it in case people weren't aware. You watch a show, you love Soldier Boy more than likely. He's one of the best parts of the show. But comic book Soldier Boy is not like that at all. I mean, he's basically Captain America, healing, super strength, big shield. But there's no way he takes it from Homelander. He's not really this whole big he's not this big hero. He's not important. He's just a little guy who wants to get into the 7. Every single dog keeps bumping my tripod. Every year he has sex with Homelander in hopes of getting into the 7. And he just talks like, hold on. And they have him talk like people think that Captain America talks, like, oh golly, Homelander, did I make it today? Did I make it this year? No, unfortunately you didn't. Maybe next time, buddy. Oh shucks, I really gave it my all. And then he has the gall to be like, but Homelander, this isn't gay, is it? I'm not gay. I like women. It's like, no, buddy, this isn't gay. This is initiation. This is hard work. American red, white, and blue, hard work. And then every time he sees him, he's like that. And it's funny, and it really makes it even funnier with that scene, like, from the show where he's like, you didn't, this isn't like some daddy son kink of you, like, you didn't fuck me in my sleep, did you? It's like, no. It's not disturbing, but I really had to include it because it's hilarious, especially considering how it is with the show. And for the next one, I'm gonna put 2 photos up real quick, a couple seconds, like right here, and then right here. Yeah, so it's Black Noir holding Huey. and then he gives him a thumbs up, right? Well, that's after Herogasm. They're trying to escape after they're caught, and I see um, Black Noir catches Huey, and that thumb, it it goes inside him. He puts that thumb inside of Huey, and maybe more than a thumb. I don't think they're very clear. I actually forgot about this until, like I said, I read the entire thing, so obviously I knew it at one point. But there's a lot that happens, and I forgot about this until I was researching and wanted to look up different things that I didn't remember, and that came up, and I was like, yeah, that's I'm putting that in the video because that's it's not talked about enough that happens to Huey. And yeah, on that light note, yeah, I mean that's really it. Let me know if you like this video, if you want to see other stuff, and give me a like, please. Like and subscribe right now. Bye.